don't want you hurting yourself or breaking any more bones, Granny and Grandad tell me. Then they pick up a pen each and add their names to my plaster cast. From Granny and Grandad, we love Tom. Kiss, kiss, be safe. My grandparents are legends. Random fun with friends. The novelty of having a plaster cast on my foot is wearing off a bit. I'm getting fed up with not being able to do what I want, like getting into the bathroom first. Delia can hear the clonk, clonk, clonk of my plaster cast and keeps nipping in before me. My morning routine goes something like this now. Scratch my toes, wait for Delia to get out of the bathroom, hop downstairs to have breakfast, listen to Mum and Dad discussing what I'll be doing today, nod in agreement, make my own plans, choose a window to look out of and use my notebook to write down interesting things that are happening, wave at Derek as he's leaving for school, show him a funny drawing I've done to try and make him laugh. He does. One of my neighbours saw my drawing the other day. She wasn't that impressed. Derek liked it though. Granny and Grandad have been coming over most days and bringing me brilliant things to keep me busy, like this 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle of a very fluffy cat. It's going to take a while to do. Before jigsaw, hello. After jigsaw, hello. They've also given me a paint set, some old comics, and a few packets of seeds to plant as well. How long do they take to grow? I wanted to know. A few weeks, that's all, Granny told me. They're called mustard and cress, and you can put them in sandwiches and eat them, Grandad explained. Normally I'd pick that sort of thing out of a sandwich, I thought to myself. They're delicious, you'll see, Granny said. The first packet I tried sprinkling on a flower bed, which was a mistake. The birds flew down and ate all the seeds in 5 minutes flat. The other packet I put in a pot that I drew Delia's face on so that when the seeds grow it will look like her hair. I can't wait. I showed her my handiwork to see what she thought. Do you like it? It's you with plant hair, I said. Oh yes, that's hilarious, Tom, she told me without smiling. Secretly she was excited, I could tell. A big package has arrived this morning with my name on. It's for you, Tom, Mum says and passes it over. I'm really excited to see what it is. Maybe my other grandparents, the Wrinklies I call them, have heard about my accident and sent me something nice in the post. I hop over on my crutches. Oh, it's another school project from Mr. Fullerman for me to do. And a get well soon card from my class that they've all signed. Some kids have drawn pictures too. From Marcus, your face being sad. Get well soon from class 5F. What have you got there? Mum asks. A get well card and a few worksheets, I say really quietly. Did you say worksheets? We can help you with those. Mum has superhuman hearing. You don't want to fall behind, Dad tells me and picks up my worksheet. They both stare at them for a very long time. Do you understand this? Mum asks Dad. Nope, haven't got a clue. They both look confused. Derek will know what to do. I can ask him over to help, I suggest. And Mum and Dad think it's a very good idea. Good idea. It'll be nice to see Derek. We probably won't spend too long on my worksheets. I haven't seen many kids from school yet. I think everyone's busy. I've been trying to keep busy as well. I've been looking out at different windows and watching the world go by, then writing things down in my notebook. Tom's notebook. There's a tabby cat who lives in the house across the road that I've never noticed before. It likes to climb the tree and sneak into other people's houses. I wonder what it gets up to. Bandit, our supply teacher, Miss Gravel's dog, comes for walks up our road during the day, on his own. Who knew? Not me, that's for sure. I got excited when I saw Bandit. Mr. Akado, the man who lives opposite, is learning to drive. He's not very good at parking yet. It takes him a long time. I've spent a lot of time watching Mr. Akado in his car. It's a bit like a real-life video game. Here's a picture of a bird I saw that was very colourful and made a lot of noise. Green, red, squawking, squawking loud. I've never seen one like this before. I wonder what it is. Fact, the bins get picked up on Monday. I've taken to waving to everyone and saying hi because it's exciting and I haven't been out much. This is a picture I'm going to show Derek tomorrow. I think he'll like it. Guess the carrots. Meanwhile, here's an update on my plants. Plants are growing slowly. Random acts of nuff. Fun backwards. Derek and I have been making up games to play from my window. This one's good. We write words backwards, like this. Straw cab. Backwards. And then the other person has to work out what it says and write it down super fast, or they lose. Like this. Namrelov sit at Tungud. Mr. Fullerman is a donut. And this. Red saw. Rooster. I Ethel Lemerac Srefor. I love caramel wafers. Derek thinks we should make up our own language so we can write messages to each other and no one else will understand. He holds up a sign to show me, and I have no idea what it says. Then he holds up another sign. Oh, I get it now. Ste a ekoj. It's a joke. Unexpected fun, or detseps enough. Looking out of my window, where I get a good view, I can see the neighbour's tabby cat has gone up the tree again. One of the things the cat likes to do is shake the leaves on the branches. I couldn't believe my eyes. The cat waits until someone is walking underneath, then spooks them by shaking the leaves so they fall on their heads. I'm sure the cat's doing it on purpose. As I'm busy watching the cat, I suddenly notice something else that's unexpected. Bandit is walking down the road with a whole loaf of bread in his mouth. I tap on the window to try and get his attention, but Bandit doesn't hear me. I shout, "Bandit! Bandit!" but he's busy with the bread. I try and run downstairs as fast as I can go, which is still not easy to do. But by the time I stumble to the bottom of the stairs, Bandit's gone. Delia's in the kitchen and comes out to see what the noise is. "Did you fall down the stairs?" she asks. "Nearly." "Don't fall down the stairs, Tom," is Delia's advice to me. At least she doesn't mention her missing poster. I keep on Delia's good side and say, "Yes, Delia." By the time I get to the front door, Bandit has disappeared down the street. "Oh, I missed him," I say. Mum hears me and thinks I'm talking about Derek. "He only lives next door, Tom. You can ask him round." "No, Bandit, the sausage dog. And that cat is up the tree again, shaking leaves," I explain. "How are the worksheets going? Have you done any?" Mum wants to know. I hobble into the front room and pretend I didn't hear the question. Mum follows. "Oh look, there's Mr. Akado. He's having another driving lesson," I say, changing the subject. He has to park the car now, and that always takes ages. I've watched him go up on the pavement before, I tell Mum, who sits down next to me. "I wonder when his test is. I'll pop a card over to him if he passes," Mum says, getting comfy. "Might be a while yet," I add, as we watch Mr. Akado go backwards and forwards trying to park. "I can't watch," Mum whispers, peeking through her hands. "I could wave at him again. It might help. I waved the other day too, just to give him support." "I'm not sure waving will help." Mum moves the curtains to one side so we can both get a better view. "He's going to do it. 4th time lucky." "Oh no, wrong angle." Mum is getting drawn into my world. "I'm looking forward to taking my driving test. I'd be a great driver," I announce. "What makes you think that, Tom?" "By the time I learn to drive, cars might be able to drive themselves, or even fly in the air. Not soon enough for Mr. Acado, though, Mum says as he tries to park again. It's rude to stare, Mum tells me, while staring. Poor Mr. Acado, I think he's just hit the lamppost. He has. I wave at Mr. Acado to show support. When did you take your test, Mum? I ask her. As soon as I was 18. I passed first time, unlike your dad. Uncle Kevin took a few goes as well. Your dad loves to remind him of that. Come on, Tom, this is painful. We can't keep staring out of the window. We watch for another 10 minutes and cheer when Mr. Acado finally manages to park. Hooray! Let's go. We've got things to do, haven't we? Mum tells me. She stands up to leave, but then I spot a squirrel. Look at that squirrel, Mum, I say. Come on, Tom, it's just a squirrel. You've seen squirrels before. This one's holding something and it's digging up the garden, I tell Mum, and suddenly she's interested. What? Where? Hey, that squirrel's eating my bulbs. Mum bangs on the window and tries to scare it off. It doesn't work. I think it's waving at you, I tell Mum helpfully. Cheeky squirrel. It's like we've opened a squirrel takeaway. I wondered what happened to all the flowers. Mum isn't happy and bangs on the window again. Go away, she shouts. Mr. Acado stares up at her. Not you, Mr. Acado, the squirrel, Mum shouts some more. He looks a bit stressed, I point out. I know how he feels. I'll have to go down and chase that squirrel away. It's not listening to me. It's a squirrel, Mum. What do you expect? I say. I get to stare out of the window a bit longer as I have the best view of Mum chasing the squirrel away. I take out my notebook and write, Squirrel 1, Mum 0. As soon as Mum leaves, the squirrel comes back and takes the rest of the bulbs. I make a quick correction in my notebook. Squirrel 5, Mum 0. Random acts of photo fun. After all the squirrel action this morning, I agreed to stop staring out of the window and help Mum sort out the old photos. Oh, look, there's a car. This is very helpful, Tom. When you're finished, you can do one of your school worksheets, she tells me. Okay, but this might take a while, I say. I'm already thinking I can make this job last for a very long time. Mum shows me the albums and explains what to do. Just put these photos in that album. It's really simple, but I never seem to find the time. It's all that squirrel chasing you've been doing, I remind her. And I have to explain to Mr. Acado that I wasn't shouting at him. At least the squirrel didn't come back. She smiles. It did, but I keep quiet. Can you just write in that space who's in the photo or where it was taken and when, while I make a few phone calls? Mum shows me what to do. I won't be long, Mum says, and leaves me to it. This job turns out to be a lot more fun than I expected. I begin by looking at the photos and picking out the ones I like. Then I think of funny captions and write them on bits of paper, like this. When you think your lesson's over, but it's only been 5 minutes. Before your parents realise the super glue is missing. When you know you'll never be the favourite child. That moment you discover the good snacks. When you think no one knows you broke the vase and blamed your little brother. When you hear Mr. Fingal say he's taken up running and you're going with him. When you could have gone to Greece on holiday but didn't. When Uncle Kevin tells you his age. When you forget a birthday but pretend you didn't. When someone says dude 3 are rubbish. When you're not the cutest one in the room. When you make a wish for a bigger cake. I have a lot more fun than I expect sorting out the photos and adding my hilarious extra commentary before lunch. Mum seems impressed and gives me some good news. Well done, Tom. And guess what? Your dad went to the new bakery this morning. I stop what I'm doing and get excited. If it wasn't for my plaster cast, I'd be jumping for joy. Yes! But sadly, all the caramel donuts had sold out. They're very popular, Mum tells me. My donut joy didn't last long. Oh. Instead, you can have first pick from the new box of biscuits he bought for the shed, Mum tells me. It's not exactly the same, but after a very long and careful look, I pick the foil-covered orange biscuit. The good thing about this biscuit is you can make a small foil cup afterwards. Well, that's what I do. I present this foil cup to me, Tom Gates. Another way to pass the time and put off doing my worksheets. Here's some more things I made with foil. Fun with foil. Foil monster. Foil bug. Foil dog. Foil octopus. Foil elephant. Random acts of Rooster. I've not had any visitors for a while, and then all of a sudden, Derek, Leroy, Amy, Florence, Norman, Marcus, Solid, and Rooster all come to see me after school. It's the best news ever. Ruff! Rooster gets a bit overexcited, so Mum asks us to go in the garden. Ruff, 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 ruff. Delia's upstairs too, and I can already hear her sneezing. She's allergic to Rooster. It's a nice day, and the garden looks lovely, so we don't mind going outside. My friends take turns to inspect my plaster cast and want to add to the doodles on it. Your sister's written a nice message, Amy says. Really? I'm about to ask what it is when Delia pops her head out of the kitchen door. Please keep Rooster in the garden, will you? She shouts. Rooster hears his name and goes to say hello. Delia closes the door until he goes away, then opens it again. And can you tell Mr. Fullerman that Tom needs more homework to keep him busy? She tells my friends. They all stare at her and don't know what to say. Do you really want more homework? Florence checks. No, that's my sister's idea of a joke, I explain. Your sister's funny. I like her sunglasses, Amy tells me, because she doesn't know my sister. Not that funny, I say, then change the subject. What have I missed at school, apart from spelling tests? Nothing much, really, Derek shrugs his shoulders. You missed the trip to the toy museum, Marcus adds. Oh, I'd forgotten about that. I really wanted to go as well. It wasn't that good, Tom, Leroy tells me. Well, I enjoyed it, Marcus adds. I'm sure we'll go there again, Florence reassures me. I hope so. It was really fun. Marcus is a bit keen to let me know. Can I ever go on your crutches? Norman asks me, so I let him. It was Mr. Sprocket's birthday the other day, Tom, Norman tells me. Was it? Yes, it was brilliant. He gave everyone in assembly a sweet, Marcus pipes up. Before the show. You had sweets? And a show? What show? I ask. It wasn't that good. It was a play of some kind. You wouldn't have liked it, Tom, Derek assures me. Really? I say, before Marcus interrupts. Are you kidding? You would have loved it, Tom. The play was so funny. We were all laughing a lot, weren't we? Marcus asks everyone. Maybe a little, Amy says. The others try not to look like they enjoyed it too much, except Marcus, who keeps laughing. Hey, someone put a picture of a dinosaur on the pet notice board. Norman jumps up and roars. Ah! What about the picture of two furry caterpillars and a note saying they were Mr. Keen's eyebrows? Marcus reminds everyone. Who did that? I want to know. Buster Jones, they all tell me. Honestly, Tom, apart from the show, the school trip, the sweets, and the pet notice board, you haven't missed much, Derek says, trying to make me feel better. Oh, we did beat the little kids at Champ. It only happened once, Derek says. Twice, Florence corrects him. I think we beat them 3 times. It doesn't happen often. That's because I wasn't playing, Marcus. I try and make a joke of it. It all goes quiet for a moment. Then Norman shouts, Mrs. Knapp's got 6 toes on 1 foot. Random, but it gets everyone talking again. So, apart from the school trip, winning at Champ, and Mrs. Knapp's 6 toes, I might need more details on this, I haven't missed much. What about your party, Leroy? I check. I changed the date so you can come. Leroy's happy about that, but not as happy as me. That's the best news ever! What have you been doing, Tom? Leroy asks me. I have to think for a moment, then say, I've been keeping a notebook of interesting stuff, drawing, making things out of foil, and growing some mustard and cress. Which sounds a lot more impressive than I've been watching Mr. Ricardo park his car, keeping an eye on the squirrels, doing a furry cat jigsaw, and watching the bins get picked up on Monday. Brewster chooses this moment to run around Norman, who lifts up one of the crutches and falls over. Timber! He's not hurt, but Rooster's really loud barking makes Delia come out again. Keep the noise down, will you? Everybody wave at my sister, I say, because she loves that. She doesn't. Seeing Delia's cheery face reminds me about her poster. I really need to get it back before she notices it's gone. Norman, who's still on the ground, says, Hey Tom, I nearly forgot. I brought you a caramel donut. It's in my bag. You did? Let me help you up, I say. I'm cheering. Hooray! 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 I'm going to try a caramel donut, finally! Norman goes to his bag and brings out a slightly squashed donut. It's been in my bag all day, Norman tells me, but I don't care. Then, for some reason, Norman decides to throw the donut to me. I'm good at catching, but not as good as Rooster, who thinks it's for him. It is now. One day, I will get to try a caramel donut. Random new friend fun, sort of. Every day my foot's getting better. Today, I noticed there's a timetable on the fridge door of things I'm supposed to be doing. Appointments at the doctor, finishing schoolwork, that kind of thing. There's a star next to a note that says, Frank, meeting, bringing son. Rita, out. Those are Mum and Dad's first names. Bringing son. I wonder who that is. So I go and find out. Mum tells me that Dad has a client coming to our house. Mr. Sky is bringing his son with him, and as I'm not here, we're hoping you could keep him company. Oh, okay, I say, as this is a bit unexpected. You two can hang out together. It'll be nice to make a new friend, won't it? Mum tells me. Great, we can watch TV, I say, because that would be fun. Or he might be able to help you with your worksheets, Tom. That would be good, wouldn't it? Not really. I'm sure he'd much rather watch TV. In fact, I should go and see what's on right now, I suggest. Okay, I'm going to work, so promise me you'll look after Mr. Sky's son. He's a very important client for your dad. It would be so helpful, Tom. I get the message, Mum. Sure, he'll be fine with me. No need to worry. What's his name? I want to know. His name's Bright, and your dad says you two have a lot in common. Do we? I say, hoping he'll like the same TV programs as me. I go and get comfy on the sofa and then realise this kid's name is Bright Sky. Maybe he likes Dude 3 or caramel wafers too. Who doesn't like wafers? When the doorbell goes, Dad answers it and it suddenly becomes clear what it is we have in common. Tom, this is Mr. Sky and his son Bright, and you've both been in the wars, Dad says, and I can see we've both got plaster casts. Only his is on his arm. Bright waves with his good arm. How long before that comes off, Tom? Mr. Sky asks me. Ages, I tell him. Bright's due to have his cast taken off next week, aren't you, Bright? He nods. Bright is peering out from under a lot of curly hair. He seems quite shy and doesn't say much. Let's get you two a snack while we have our meeting in the shed, Dad tells us both. This is a promising start. Can we have the secret biscuit tin from your shed, Dad? I ask straight away. No need to worry about Bright. We've brought our own food, says Mr. Sky, holding up a Tupperware box. Biscuits? I ask. No, Tom, just healthy snacks. Bright doesn't have any allergies, but he's not allowed junk food, Mr. Sky tells me. This is very disappointing for me. Sure, no problem, Dad says. We should do more of that. No more wafers for you, Tom, Dad jokes. I don't laugh. Just help yourself to whatever you're allowed to have, Bright. We won't be long in the shed. You can watch TV with Tom, Dad suggests helpfully. Actually, I'd rather he didn't watch TV during the day, but Bright's brought some games to play. I like games, I say, so it doesn't feel awkward. Bright doesn't say anything.